What's something that looked fun, but you realized it was horrible once you tried it? Riding a mechanical bull at my 33rd birthday party. Felt that for 3 days after. I rode one around the same age and didn't have a problem. I rode one again a few years ago when I was 42 and I'm just starting to feel better. I'm 45 now. Man, did my dad upsell mowing the lawn when I was a kid. He made it a thing my brothers and I aspired to do. We knew when we were old enough and responsible enough to mow the lawn we would officially be big kids. It turns out it's way more fun to sit on the sidelines with a popsicle. My brother and I loved it because we had a riding lawn mower and it would be years before we could drive a car. Exploring caves. It sounded amazing. Then I spent 8 hours knee deep in bat crap and crawling, or more accurately jamming my body through tiny passages face down, in the dark, with all types of vermin crawling on me in a 98°F hole in the ground. Then they were nice enough to tell me the most common cause of death is something called a dead hang. It's when you fall in a hole and get tangled in your climbing ropes and they can't find you or get you out. You just hang there all mangled up until you die. And that waterfall you can hear but can't see? I bet it's beautiful, but it's probably one of those places you could fall into pretty easily. Then when you're hours away from where you entered this heck hole and you've been in complete darkness for long enough, you get this feeling of dread they call the rapture. You'll give anything to get the frick out of there and see the sun again, but it's not possible. It will a very long time before you get out. It was an experience I am glad I had, but I'd never do it again. This makes me anxious just to read. That's gonna be a no from me. When I was a kid I kept seeing these kids with casts because they broke their arm or their wrist or their ankle, and I was so bummed because I'd never broken a bone. Then 3rd grade came and I broke my wrist in 3 places and my thumb in 2, and turns out it fricking sucks wrapping your arm up like a loaf of bread to take a shower. Same. I thought this until I broke my leg when I was 15. Wanted to kill myself after about 2 days on crutches. Diving. Joined the team in high school as it looked fun. It was not. Most painful sport I've ever participated in. After being fat 90% of my life, I actually mustered the willpower to get in shape, and now I realize all my problems are because of me, not because I was fat. That just means you're one step closer to solving your problems, my man. You can do this. I remember when I was little and my older brother and sister had braces. I wanted them so badly. Turns out braces really suck, and I had them for almost 4 years. Bungee jumping. Freefall is always awesome, but the second and a half of freefall is not worth the cracking of the whip that's hard on your body if you do it wrong. Till there are non-fatal ways to do bungee jumping wrong. Homemade zip slides. I went on one at a scout camp. Almost broke my pelvis. Captive workoutings. Example, we have organized an afternoon boat tour. It means you will be crammed into smaller space, blasted with crappy music and expected to be friendly to people you are only around because you are paid to be. For 4-5 hours, you will accomplish nothing of value, and your bosses think this is a reward. Riding in a hot air balloon. I dreamed about it for years, got it as a birthday present, and threw up over the side the whole time. They had to stop the ride early. Or bummer. I'll probably still do it because I also want to, but I'll temper my expectations. Fruit stripe gum. This is more of a childhood example, but dang if it doesn't fit this description. I love the flavor of fruit stripe gum, but it only lasted all of 2 minutes. Working in management. Bubble soccer. The first time I got laid out I was not amused. Then I accidentally punched myself in the nose after getting hit another time. The only time I played it, the Zorb bubble was scratched so it was hard to see where the soccer ball was. That, and I broke my toe after 2 minutes. This really tall, intense water slide. I won't go into detail, but it was not pleasant. Jumping on a trampoline as a 235-pound adult. My exact thoughts. I bought an hour at a trampoline park. 5 minutes later I died. Then tried to jump in the foam pit and it took me a full 10 minutes to get back out. Hosting a New Year's party at my house with my extended family. It seemed fun and great at first, but after 3 hours into it, I was not enjoying it and had party remorse. I kept on telling myself, WTF did I get into? Why did I invite all these annoying people? Oh, that's the reason why I don't talk to my cousin that much. Worst part of it all, my family didn't leave until 2 days later. Somehow my party turned into this 2-day bed and breakfast stay. Never again. Heck no. Honestly, this is why you should set an end time for the parties. Dude, the party's over. Go the frick home. Marvin's Magic Drawing Board. My sister Urine Scout and I saw the infomercials when we were young. It looked amazing. I think it was like 3 easy payments of $9.99. The thing was basically a rainbow background with a gap, and then a clear film. So when you press the film, color shows through. But it never worked anything like the infomercial. We literally used it that day only. Sucked. Those foot vibrating machines at amusement parks, zoos, etc. that are supposed to make you feel better after walking around all day. Saw some kids sitting on the metal plate instead, laughing. Asked my dad for some quarters. Tried to do the same thing. The force of the vibration caused me to shut immediately. I've listened to an audiobook on the life of Nikola Tesla and there were a couple paragraphs about this crappy side effect that vibrations can have on the human body. Being a flight attendant. Live action roleplay. It looks like fun adult dress up fighting, but it ended up being a bunch of sweaty guys in badly made tunics hitting me with padded sticks. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Shaving my legs. When I was too young to shave, I wanted to so badly. Now I avoid it for as long as possible. Orange Theory Fitness. Everyone raved about it and loved going. I now know what heck is like and I paid $15 to be there. Being able to last forever in bed. It's only fun for a little bit, but girls don't really like it when you go for 1.5 to 2 hours and don't see them. Playing D&D with strangers. This sounds like my nightmare. Spin class. It's an excellent workout, but I used to have to position my bike where I couldn't see the clock, because I'd look up and see that we had 25 minutes left or whatever and just want to die. Also, when you're first starting out, the pain to your vulva and bottom is excruciating. Anime conventions. I actually had a good time at the comic conventions I've gone to, but for some reason the anime ones have been smelly, overpriced, creepy, and downright disturbing in some aspects. I have never had my butt groped so many times in one day. I'm a guy BTW. Paragliding. My boyfriend and I were on this magnificent trip and decided to have no FOMO and go paragliding in the German Alps. My god, the views were spectacular, but my god did I have to do everything in my power not to barf all over the views. I didn't realize that the motion sickness I get in twisty car rides would transfer during this activity, only 100x more intense. The guide I was attached to swiftly handed me a bath bag but thanked me profusely for not using it when we landed because apparently it was full of holes. Getting my foot run over by a car. For some reason thought it wouldn't hurt and it would be fun, so when my friend's mum drove the car into my driveway I stuck my foot right under the tire and as it went over my foot it crushed my foot and I screamed out and made her feel incredibly guilty for my blatant stupidity. I hope this makes it to the top because I have just so many questions for you. Sliding down the stairs with a mattress. Guy here. It took riding backdoor with a woman to make me realize that I really wasn't into it. Kinda turned me on in certain P movies, but in real life it just freaked me out. The thing is, you can't smell pee. Jim Jeffries. Drink nights at museums. Am I the only one who wants to dress up nice, sip classy drinks, and look at stolen relics and dead animals like some kind of hoity-toity toff? It was just a club night in the museum, complete with bad music, club horns, trashy people, and woo girls. Where's my high society? The Lilo and Stitch ride at Disney World. Shower freaking. Water makes a poor lubricant. Showers are great for all the foreplay stuff like kissing and such, but not for the main event. Perfect for making out though. Pro wrestling. It hurts. It's been 20 years since I left that behind, and I still hobble with regret. The roar of the, rather small, crowd made it feel worth it at the time though. Getting a facial, they make it look so fun and relaxing, but it actually hurts so bad. I would say a massage. Instead of feeling relaxed I get more tense. Maybe because I'm not used to it, but it's just the worst. Going to a casino. I always thought it would be super cool, but all the bright lights and crap just made me feel kinda sick. Deep tissue massages. I always go thinking how good it's going to feel, but frick, it hurts like heck. Feel great after though. All those amusement park rides that just slowly raise you up a tower, then suddenly drop you. There's a fine line between thrill ride and butt clenching terror. Fricking a beach. Sounds fun and romantic, but even if you have a towel, you still end up with sand everywhere, which is not fun at all. Settle down, Anakin. In San Francisco, there is a hands-on science museum called the Exploratorium. In the 1970s, there was an exhibit called the Sensorium. I was there on a school field trip, in which we were allowed to run free in the place and meet at a certain time. About 5 of us girls, ranging from age 11 to 13, decided to explore the Sensorium. We were told, briefly, that you would be using all of your senses while enjoying your experience. This exhibit was inside the building, but the building itself was huge. This thing we were going to try was a bit daunting, as it was big like a carnival haunted house. But how scary could it be in this place of science? So we all entered at once, first noticing the drape behind us closed, leaving us in total darkness. From then on, you had to feel your way around. There were tunnels that you had to crawl up or slide down. Then, after being separated from my friends, they played a trick on me and ditched me. I finally reached the center of the darn thing. That was a round room covered with carpeting, with a dim red light, with about 10 tunnels opening into darkness. I was so thankful to see some light that I just stayed for a bit, hoping that I would see another person eventually. I did see someone, but they were not from my group. He just chose a tunnel and went headfirst down into the darkness. I knew that I couldn't stay there forever, but I don't think that I had ever been so scared in my life. So finally, I did just exactly what the guy I had seen before me do. It turned out to be a long, curvy slide, total darkness. Remember, Elle ended up headfirst in a huge deep swimming pool filled with sunflower seeds. It was like quicksand, and there were people there to lift you out if you needed help. To this day, I will never forget the feelings of suffocation from the narrow tunnels, the scary feeling that I would not survive, and my appreciation of oxygen and life when I exited. Was that the point? I'll never know. Snowboarding is not as easy as it looks, and you can break your ribs and butt bone in the process of learning. Oh, but once you figure it out, crap's tight. But really, I have a numb spot over my right butt cheek from falling on ice 2 years ago. I thought I broke my back at the time. Graduating high school. The thought of being independent and free from all the baggage that was school doesn't seem so great when you realize you have to jump into the adult world blind and confused as to what the frick even is your life. Literally happened just yesterday. I'm on vacation with my in-laws and there are those bicycles that multiple people can ride. Everyone we saw riding them was smiling with rosy cheeks. After 20 minutes of riding one, we realized their smiles were an act of self-preservation to survive the torture that are those bicycles. Shower freaking. I mean, sure, I'm naked, you're naked, let's be naked together. I'm down with that. But do we really need to do it in a little glass box where there's soap on the floor and not really enough room for both of us? Do we really need to pretend that we're not both just trying to stay under the hot water for long enough to stay warm, but that the pressure isn't enough for both of us to manage it at once? Can we at least acknowledge that water is a terrible lubricant, so any actual fricking, even if it was possible without us both clumsily pawing at each other, is going to be unpleasant for us both? And even if it did work, we've still got to shower off after the fact, which means, what, exactly? We've got to take shifts so we can both get clean properly? One of us just has to stand outside, freezing their butt off, while the other one spends 10 minutes washing their hair? I'm 30, I have a perfectly good bed, let's do this right. Showers are for foreplay, beds are for fricking. Devil's threesomes. Fricking with 2 men might seem like a great idea until you have 2 dudes with poor rhythm pounding your orifices at the same time. Unless these dudes have a fair bit of experiences double teaming a woman together, it's a beat to sync up enough to not be very uncomfortable. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.